Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of this entrepreneurial life. It is Monday morning. It is the Monday, the 21st of August in the year 2017. My name is Erlend Bakke, and I am the best selling author of a book called Never Work Again and 90 Days to Profit, which you can see behind my head there. You can also see my famous skull collection with the good old Memento Mori going on. Memento Mori, remember that one day you will die, so make this day count. Do what you can to do today to make things happen for you. Now, today it's all about Stoicism. Stoicism is something I stumbled across when following Tim Ferriss. Big fan of Tim Ferriss. For our work week, he was actually the guy that inspired me to free myself from my business in 2011, travel the world, and I spent a lot of time in San Francisco, New York, London, and lots of other places, and crossing off things on my bucket list, which isn't necessarily something you should do as a Stoic, but that was before my Stoic days. So every morning I start by reading The Daily Stoic. It's a book by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. And if you look inside the book, it says August 21st. So August 21st. And today it says, "Don't be miserable in advance. It's ruinous for the soul to be anxious about the future and miserable in advance of misery, engulfed by anxiety that the things it desires might remain its own until the very end. For such a soul will never be at rest. By longing for things to come, it will lose the ability to enjoy present things." So that's one of the famous Stoics, Seneca, Moral Letters 98.5b-6a. So there's also a little explanation here by Ryan Holiday and Mr. Hanselman about what they think about the quote. And I just found it a really good way of grounding myself every single morning. So what is Stoicism really about? Stoicism is really old. It's older than the Christian religion. And also the Christian religion is largely based on Stoicism. They just added heaven and hell to sell their philosophy better. So a lot of people might not like what I just said, but that is the historical view on the fact. So Stoics, stoa means the porch in front of a house. So this is Stoicism is basically where the ancient Romans and Greeks discussed their philosophies, and there's lots of different Stoics. We've got Marcus Aurelius, we've got Seneca, we've got Epictetus, and many more. And what I really like about Stoicism for entrepreneurs is that it has some really cool principles, which also you can draw from the Bhagavad Gita, which is the oldest sort of philosophical book. It's early in the morning here, so my tongue is still sleeping. Philosophical book, Bhagavad Gita, which is, I don't know how old it is. I'm not going to make it up. But usually I make up facts, but I'm not going to do that today. But there are things you can control and there are things you can't control. There's no point trying to control the things that you can't control. The only thing that really makes sense is to focus on the things that you can do something about. So what can you do something about? Well, you can control your habits, you can control your actions, and you can also train your brain to function better for in relation to what you're trying to achieve in life. So those are the three things that I focus on. I wake up every single day and I try to do what I can do with what I have, where I am. So I'm trying to do something about the things that I can do. So things I can't control are like things going on in the world. I actually don't read the news. I don't watch TV. I generally do things that will better my own life. So you might be going, oh, that's really selfish. Well, if you think about it, if I show up really good, if I show up happy and smiley and considerate when I meet other people, I'm actually being of service to the world. So it's actually, I believe it's a good thing to focus on what you can do to improve life. So a really good book, which I highly recommend, is a book called A Guide to the Good Life by William B. Irvine. Um, it's basically what he's done. He's a professor in philosophy, and he's read all the different types of Stoics, and he's put it into a modern book that is highly readable about the how you can apply the philosophies in your own life. So I combine reading the Daily Stoic, which I just showed you, which is here, Daily Stoic, Ryan Holiday, awesome book. Also, if you want to read more about Stoicism, check out Ryan Holiday. He's got Obstacle is the Way and Ego is the Enemy. Two really good books. Ryan Holiday is a very successful author, entrepreneur, business person, and he's really embraced Stoicism. And I also believe that that's the person who got Tim Ferriss into it. So there's the element of control. There's also the element of letting go of fame, wealth, and popularity. So you shouldn't do things to attain wealth. You shouldn't do things because you want to be famous. You shouldn't do things because you want to be popular. Why? Well, because those things then will own you. The way to live, according to the Stoics, is to be of service to humanity, to serve mankind. So I've rephrased that a little bit to the whole purpose of your life is, according to the Dharma in Bhagavad Gita, is that you should use your talents to serve humanity. So one of the things and one of the reasons why I actually do this podcast is because I see this as a service. I could be on the phone calling clients, hustling, trying to make more money, which I will be doing later, but to grow my business and add more service and value to the world. But I also always make time to do this sort of 10-15 minute recording every day to be of service, to add value. And the reason for that is, and that's the whole reason why I started this entrepreneurial life, was because I want to really share an honest view on how business really is, sort of an unfiltered, realistic view on my journey. I've been an entrepreneur now for 10 years, 10 years, and I've achieved a lot of things, slowly but surely. Things happen slowly. And if you want to read more about that, check out a book called Mastery, not the Philip Green one, the Gregory something one. So again, that's another thing in Stoicism is actually patience and the perseverance, and just putting yourself in places where things are sometimes difficult, but you persevere, you stay in it. Okay, so I talked about wealth, fame. I talked about control and what you can control, what you can't control. You should focus on what you can control because that's kind of the only thing that makes sense, and then you need to let go of everything else. That's easier said than done. It's really hard to let go, but I find that the more I let go, the happier I am, and things kind of fall into place if I just do the best I can with my talents. Things seem to be okay. If I think back on my 10 years as an entrepreneur, it's really I really regret all the worry and anxiety that I've ever had, because things have worked out okay, even though things have been challenging, and sometimes you lose a client and you're desperate for money and things like that. In most cases, if I've just relaxed and just moved forwards, things have fallen into place. So I'm doing my best to not worry anymore about anything, because life happens and it's okay. So the control element, wealth, fame, and popularity. When I pursue wealth, fame, and popularity for the sake of them, I am not very happy. It's a very different energy than saying to yourself, how can I get up today and be of service? How can I use my talents to serve humanity? That is a very different energy. It's a much more positive energy. And I think you should always try to move towards that good energy in you. We both have the sort of dark energy. We both have the sort of light energy. The dark energy is very attractive, it's very shiny, but it's always has it's a double-edged sword. So it's got that shiny bling bling, but the other side is that you don't really feel good. So try to move towards that feeling where you are feeling good about what you do, that pure feeling. And I am not a master at it. I'm trying to do it every single day. and more and more. So that is something I'm working on, and Stoicism helps me get into that positive flow of energy where I remind myself that anything I do should be of service. I should be of service to humanity, using my talents and acknowledging my talents, and I believe one of my talents is speaking, and educating, and sort of filtering information from sources and then communicating them to you. I believe that's one of my talents, and hence that's why I'm doing these videos on the show called This Entrepreneurial Life, and it's also a lot of fun. So I talked about control, I talked about wealth, and also let's talk about a third thing. I'm not going to go on and on and on about this today, but I think you should check out Stoicism for yourself. A Guide to the Good Life is the book to read to get started. So the last one is that you need to accept the past. You need to accept everything in the past. It's actually one of my affirmations. All these 3 things in Stoicism that I'm sharing with you today are things that I write down every single day. So I accept the past 100%. There's no point fretting over the past, because the past is the past. And also this moment, because right now, while you're watching this, it's this moment. You're here. Now it's the next moment. Now it's the next moment. And you need to accept that too. You are where you are. That's fine. It's fine where you are right now. And the third one is to accept the future. So whatever comes, we have no control over it. We can do what we can do, but we're not 100% in control of the outcome. So another thing from Bhagavad Gita and in Stoicism, a parallel, if you like, is that you should act in faith and let go of outcome. So have faith in the future. Have faith that if you follow that pure energy in you, that things will work out. So act in faith, let go of outcome. That's the third sort of Stoic philosophy that I really like, that we're fated to do things. It's fated that things will happen. And a lot of people will say, hey, that there's no such thing as fate. Well, we can't disprove it, which means it could be. I kind of believe that when we're given challenges, or popularly called problems, when we're given challenges, that we're meant to get them. We're meant to get these challenges. We're meant to sort of learn from them, because we're largely on planet Earth to learn. We're here to learn, and that's why we're given challenges. And it's taken me years and years and years to accept that things don't work out as I plan. And I'm constantly trying to reprogram how my brain works from my sort of school programming, and tap into better resources like Stoicism, Bhagavad Gita, and other good books. I will be making a top 10 books list for you guys to read. I did a 2017 one. I have changed it slightly. A lot of the same books, but some new ones. So I'll be making that episode in a couple of days. I'm not quite sure. And also check out Magnus Walker's book here, Urban Outlaw, Dirt Don't Stick. He's actually one of these people that just does what he wants to do and is very successful at just being himself and following his path. So some people are really good at that, and it's difficult. It doesn't mean you won't have challenges when you follow your bliss and you're in that energy. You constantly will be thrown challenges at, because that's how you grow. So Stoicism, why do I like it? I like it because it makes sense. It makes sense that I can't control what I can't control. I can control doing this video. I can control putting on the lights and lots of other things. But there's lots of most things I have no control over. So I'm letting go of all those things. So check out The Daily Stoic. Check out Ryan Holiday's books, Ego is the Enemy, Obstacle is the Way. Feel free to read my book, Never Work Again, or 90 Days to Profit, which I will be placing over there. Or maybe I will actually be moving that book over there. Anyway, I wish you a great day. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, hit like underneath, share it, or maybe you want to check out one of my hardcore MBA episodes where I've interviewed more than 250 world-class experts, Navy SEAL commandos, SEN masters, and many, many more. My name is Erlend Bakke. I am signing out here from Oslo, Norway. Bye-bye.